Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Mariah Bruner. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm UCA's Wellness Coordinator, and I serve faculty and staff. This workshop today is going to be focused on establishing SMART wellness goals, and the session will last approximately 20 minutes, and I'll leave plenty of time at the end for questions and dialogue. And if you think of any questions along the way, you can go ahead and use the chat box to submit those. And at the end of the session, I will share the process for claiming your 5 lifestyle reward points. So to get us started, I'm just going to review our learning objectives for today. During this session, participants can expect to understand the importance of goal setting in all dimensions of wellness, learn how to establish SMART wellness goals, and receive a SMART goal setting worksheet for individualized planning. So that's the game plan for today. Okay, I think we should be good now. Okay, sorry about that. That's the first time I've had major technical issues. I appreciate your patience. Okay, so first let's talk about why wellness goal setting is important. So first of all, we need to remember that wellness is a journey, right? So at no time are we ever going to be perfect with our health or our wellness. But we can work to become a healthier version of ourselves in all dimensions of wellness. And that's where goal setting comes in. If we set goals, we are establishing a roadmap or a guide to achieve something. So we are able to push ourselves out of our comfort zone and continually challenge our bodies both mentally and physically. And meeting goals and establishing new ones keeps us from getting bored in our routines and gives us something to strive for. And with these benchmarks, we are also able to measure success. And the graphic I have up on the screen reminds us that wellness is not just physical. It's also social, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's intellectual, it's environmental, it's financial, and it's occupational. So all 8 dimensions of wellness are equally important and all areas in which we can establish wellness goals. So now let's talk about SMART wellness goals. You may have heard of the SMART acronym before. This model is commonly used in leadership development and project management, and it works great for wellness too. And so we're going to walk through the process of establishing a SMART wellness goal. I have included a link to the worksheet that I'm about to use in the chat box. So if you want to click on that, you can follow along. I'm also going to go ahead and open it up and show it on my screen as well. And hopefully this will work. And I'm not sure. I'm going to do a new share just to make sure I'm getting it shared properly. Let's see. Okay, I think that's up. Okay. So first of all, how to establish a SMART wellness goal. So the S in SMART stands for specific. So you clearly state what you want to accomplish. And you're going to try to answer the who, the where, the when, the why, and the how. So answering questions like, who is involved? Where will I accomplish my goal? When will I try to reach my goal? Why do I want to reach this goal? How will I go about doing that? And how will I work around barriers? So these are all really important questions to be specific with your goal. And so an example of a general goal would be, I want to exercise and get in shape. Okay, well, we can enhance that. We can make that more specific by saying, I will walk 2 miles 3 times a week at 7 a.m. to get in shape. That's just an example. You can apply that again to any wellness goal that you have, but this is just an example of how to take it from a general to a specific goal. The M in SMART stands for measurable. You want to make sure that you can track your progress. So to determine if your goal is measurable, you'll want to answer the following. So how much or how many? Or how will I know when my goal has been reached? This is really important. So a general goal would be, I want to lose weight. It's very generic, right? But you can make that a measurable goal by saying, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. So you're specifying how much and in what time frame. The A stands for action oriented. So you'll want to know what actions you need to take to achieve this goal. And again, an example of a general goal, I want to be less stressed. Okay, well that's good, but let's make that action oriented. So I will do a home yoga session every Tuesday and Thursday to manage my stress. The R in SMART is realistic. You want to think big, but you want to make sure it's still possible. So an unrealistic goal would be, I'm going to stop eating all sweets and sugars, just completely cut them out forever. Well, that's not very realistic, right? So a realistic goal would be, I'm going to limit dessert to twice per week. And then last, and also really important, is T, timely. So you want to set a time limit for reaching your goal. So an example, a general goal, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, right. Well, timely goal, I want to lose 10 pounds in July or this month or in 4 weeks or whatever it is. So again, these are just some examples of being specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timely in our goal setting. And if you continue on to the second page of this worksheet, you'll see this is when you can actually get to work to plan your individual goal. So to be specific, you'll want to start by answering all those questions we've just reviewed. So who is involved? Where will I do this? When I will do this? Why I want to do this? And how will I do this? And from that, you're going to be able to create your specific wellness goal. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't have to be just weight loss. It doesn't have to be anything specific to your physical wellness at all. It can be in any area of wellness, can apply to this. So, but you want to get it targeted to a specific wellness goal by answering those questions. And then you'll want to make sure that you can track your progress. So actually think about this and write it down. I will track my progress by what? What does that mean? Is it, if you are working on smoking cessation, for instance, what is success going to look like for you? Is that reducing the number of cigarettes you smoke every day? Is that completely eliminating nicotine? That's going to be up to you. So you want to make sure you know how to measure your progress. And then action oriented, you want to do a check on your goal. So is it action oriented? If it's not, then you need to probably take the step back and rewrite your goal. You'll also want to do a check on whether or not it's realistic. Yes or no. If it's not, you're going to rewrite that goal. And here's a special point. So for many years, a little over 10 years, I worked directly with clients on their health and wellness goals. And time and time again, I would see clients that they had huge aspirations, but they really didn't have realistic goals. And so I would really have to sit down with them. And just a reminder, everybody, can you please mute yourselves? So a realistic, they would say things like, well, again, kind of like the example, well, I'll just cut out all sugar, or I'm just going to cut out all carbs. And I would talk to them and say, okay, well, that could work. That might work for some people. But the question you really need to ask yourself is this a lifestyle change that you could maintain forever? And if the answer is no, then you need to go back and take a look at that. So again, for sustainable change, you want to make sure that you're choosing a goal that's realistic and attainable, that you could live with basically for the rest of your life or for a very long period of time until it's time to reevaluate. So nothing because it's a fad, because it's popular, it's what other people are doing, or it's an easy fix. You want sustainable change. And then again, timely, going down on our checklist here. Write down specifically when you will reach your goal. Like write down a date, and set yourself to that. And then we can't complete any workshop like this without talking about potential barriers and then solutions and rewards. So you'll want to think through my potential barriers are, I'll give you an example. If my wellness goal is to go out and walk those 2 miles 3 times a week at 7 a.m. for weight loss, okay, that's great. But I have 2 young children who have they have a tendency to wake up at different times. They might wake up earlier. So I need to anticipate that, and I need to plan, okay, so I'm going to work around that. If my kids get up early when I'm trying to sneak out and go for my walk, then what's my plan? So my plan might be, okay, well, I'm going to talk to my spouse, let them know my plan is this is going to be my exercise time for 30 minutes on these 3 mornings. So I'm going to need you to run interference and, have him, take care of the kids while I go out, get my exercise in. And then we can switch off and he can kind of give me a heads up. So that's just an example, but it's a good one. There's going to be barriers to achieving your wellness goals. You'll want to identify those barriers, and then you're going to have a plan to work around them. And that may mean reevaluating your entire goal, because again, it has to be realistic. So if it's not realistic for you to go and walk those 2 miles 3 days a week at 7 a.m. because of your lifestyle, your commitments, your work, whatever it is, then that's probably not right for you. So you need to go back and reevaluate. And then another area is the healthy reward. So this is not an essential part of this planning process, but it's kind of fun and it can be motivating. So if there is a reward that you want to establish for achieving your goal, then you'll want to include that here. And you want it to be a healthy one. And so with that, I'll just say our culture is very oriented towards food. And so you might be inclined to set yourself up for like a food-oriented reward. And I would just say to be careful with that because you don't want to sabotage any progress if your wellness goals specifically relate to nutrition and diet. So not saying treats are not okay. Treats are absolutely a healthy part of our lives in moderation, but just be careful of that. And really anything that potentially could sabotage all your hard work. So, I mean, that could be related to nicotine, alcohol, nutrition, diet. There's a lot of different things. If you're working on your mental health, I mean, there's some things that just might not be a healthy option for you to reward yourself. So just keep that in mind. So right now I'm going to try to get back to my PowerPoint and we will open it up for some questions and some dialogues. So let me see, see if I can get back there. Okay, so questions and dialogue. You are welcome to unmute yourselves and share your video. Does anybody have any questions, comments? I'd love to hear if anybody has ever tried this and whether or not you felt like it was successful, or have any tips and tricks for just anything really, if you have anything to share. And if we don't, that's okay. These sessions are intended to be very short. I want to get good information out to you quickly because I know you need to move on with your day. But just let me know. Was anybody surprised, or has anybody not heard of this process before? You all are a quiet group today, which is fine. Hey there.
Well, I'm definitely going to try this for my sleeping habits. They've been a little off since I'm in my apartment all the time, so definitely going to be using it.
That's awesome. That's a great one. I didn't mention that as an example, but sleep habits for sure is something that I feel like probably everybody can do better on. There's obviously so many ways to plan to do better with that too. There's so many ways we can structure our routines. And this worksheet would be really helpful to say, okay, like this is how I'm going to eliminate my barriers to going to sleep on time or getting enough sleep. Whether that's turning off the screens before you go to bed, maybe reducing alcohol consumption before bed, whatever that is, that's a really good one. And we have an upcoming sleep habits challenge actually for BeWell participants in August. So stay tuned for that. You can maybe use that as part of your journey to better sleep habits. We've got some comments that have come in. Christy said, just remember, if you fall off the wagon on your goals, you can always get back on. Don't give up. Totally awesome advice, Christy. Yes, don't beat yourself up. You can always start back. That's true. And it's never too late to make healthy changes. It's just never too late. Jacob said, I've used SMART goals before in other areas, but not really related to health, for sure. And then Jessica said, I've used SMART goals for work before, but not health. So yeah, you can use it for this. And I think it's a really effective way to be very intentional about really setting those benchmarks for ourselves. And again, just pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone and achieving that new level of wellness that maybe we otherwise would not have. So those are really good comments. Okay, I'm going to, again, sorry guys, my technological sharing today is not the greatest, but we're going to try to share again, because I want to tell you how you can claim your lifestyle reward points for this session. So this is worth 5 lifestyle rewards if you're a BeWell participant. You can email me at UCA BeWell or at mbruner1. Whatever comes up first is fine. I'll get them either place. You can use the subject line Wellness Goal Setting Workshop. You don't even need to write me a message unless you want to. I do appreciate the nice comments you guys send in, but if it's, you can just put that in the subject line and I'll know what that means. The category to use on My Health Check 360 is BeWell Education Sessions. It used to be called BeWell Education Sessions on Site. And since we'll probably do virtual for the long haul at this point, I just went ahead and changed that category title. So it's BeWell Education Sessions. And then when you email me, I'll send you the certificate of attendance, and I'll send you a copy of this presentation and the worksheet and a link to an online session evaluation. And real quick, this is my contact information. So if you have any questions, concerns, ideas, feedback, whatever, just shoot me an email or give me a call. You can visit the BeWell website, uca.edu/BeWell. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but I'm absolutely willing to hang out if anybody has any questions, or if you want to work through this worksheet with me. Right now, I'd be happy to do that with you, or we can even set up a time to do that together at a different time.